wife, mother, and teacher. I am here to talk to you about it. It is the moment you stop watching and start doing. There is no other time in history that it has been easier for anyone to be it. And it's all because of information technology. Do you believe you can do something that will make a difference globally? Globally. You know what? Some of you are saying, yeah, sure, I could do that. I asked my 7th grade class last September if they believe they can make a difference globally. And their responses were sad. Not one student in my 7th grade computer technology class said yes. Not one student in my 7th grade technology class thought that anyone would ever notice them. You see, we are from a small community in Ohio between Cincinnati and Columbus, a rural community of about 4,000 people, and only 38% of the students that live in that community, or of the people that live in that community, actually live there permanently. The majority of the population in Cedarville are college students. They come in, they live there for a short period of time, and they leave. And the students that permanently live in Cedarville feel like they can't make a difference. So I got to thinking about this as a teacher, and I had to reflect on myself. This month I celebrate 20 years since my high school graduation. 20 years ago, students did not have cell phones unless you were Zach Morris. 20 years ago, I graduated from the same high school with the same graduating class as that guy, John Legend. John Legend graduated from the same high school as I did.
We should let that finish.
But, do I? You know, it's funny because at that same time, shortly after our high school graduation in 1995, was the first time there was a resolution passed by the Federal Network Council defining the word internet. Can you imagine having the first time to define the word internet? That's probably been something that's been part of your lives, your entire lives. So the definition, and I have to read this. As a global information system that is logically linked together by a globally unique address, space based on the internet protocol or subsequent extensions, is able to support communications using TCP/IP, suite or subsequent extensions, and provides uses or makes accessible, either publicly or privately, high-level services layered on the communications and related infrastructure described herein. Definition of the internet, as defined 20 years ago. 20 years ago, connecting to the internet looked and sounded like this.
Wait, so it's a
Yeah. That was fast.
It was?
30 seconds was fast to connect to the internet. Yes, sir.
So is that what the logo where it says America Online, is that what it used to look like before?
Yes, sir. So we walk into this building today. If you have computer access in your project areas, you walk in and you are instantly online. True? 20 years ago, that wasn't the case. You see, there may be a definition of internet, but defining the internet isn't that simple. But the Internet Society defines it very well for what I want my students to know. See, the internet is unlike any other technology. The internet can be whatever we make it. We shape it, we mold it, but most importantly, we use it to connect people, communities, and countries around the world. Do you agree? Okay. So here's what happens. After my high school graduation, I studied management information systems. I was in a career in management information systems for a while. I did some programming, and then I entered a career of software analyst, which was essentially I tested what other people created. And then I told them where it did or didn't go wrong. And so through a process of time, I learned my first coding class in college, and I learned about the internet. But then I got away from it, had a family, and kind of stepped away from a career for a little while. So what brings me here with you today is that when I went back to a career, looking for a career with a family at home, I wasn't looking to drive to Cincinnati any longer where I had job offers, because I live an hour and a half away. So what I did is I took up a job at a community college teaching information technology skills. Information technology skills to 19-year-olds who were expected at this point in 2005 to know more about computers than us adults. But what we found is that students coming out of high school didn't have the skills in this generation that we expected them to have. They didn't have the skills, they weren't prepared, and that is when I decided to go back to school to get my teaching license to teach high school students. So I went back to school, but that's not so simple. What do you need in order to go to college?
Money.
What?
Money.
I have a family, I have to quit my job, and I need money. So I started looking for opportunities to fund my education. And that guy, John Legend, happened to do a video for teach.org. I happened to watch the video all on social media because I had a Facebook account. I watched the video because I knew that guy. After the video was done, there was a link. I clicked on the link. The link brought me to UC's website. I signed up for a program, and I eventually entered into a program to be a high school teacher. I watched last night a commencement speech given by John Legend to the University of Pennsylvania. And he talked about how the most important thing, other than loving what you do, was making connections. And it was through making connections and the connections I was able to make through the internet that got me here today. So, if the internet is whatever we can make it, what is social networking? whatever we can make it, right? Whatever we put on it. So in 1999, at the time I was graduating college with my bachelor's degree, Blogger was introduced. At the time, Blogger was an independent item, now owned by Google. Everybody knows Google, yeah? Blogger was a way to blog. You guys are familiar with blogs? Yeah? Okay, so what's interesting is throughout the years, throughout the last 15 years, somewhere in there, in 2007, Tumblr was created. Are any of you familiar with Tumblr? Yeah? What is Tumblr?
It's a blog site.
It's a blog. It's a blog site. Somebody in their 20s, a 20-year-old college student, decided that they could take blogs and they could make it better. They could do it different. They could make it more interesting. And so I ask you again, do you believe you can do something that will make a difference globally?
Of course.
See, remember I told you that my students, my 7th graders didn't think so. And then this happened. I entered my 7th grade class, my 7th and 8th grade class, into a contest. I didn't know where it would go. We were to make a difference in our local community using STEM. Well, that's wide open, right? Science, technology, engineering, math. Some people throughout the nation entered this contest, and they said, oh, well, we're going to make clean water, and we're going to reduce pollution and pick up trash, and those are all great things. But in our small community, it's very clean. We had clean water, but what we did not have was a newspaper. We didn't have any way to find out what was going on in town. We had no way of finding out when there were activities at the park. There was something called the grapevine. What is that?
What's going to say?
Yeah, I'm going to tell you, and you're going to tell her, and you're going to tell her. This is the 21st century. I work in a community in which I don't live, and the students at my school didn't know that they could go half a block down the street to the ice cream shop, and if they downloaded the app for the ice cream shop on their phone, they could save 20% on their ice cream. What 12 and 13 and 14-year-old kid doesn't want to save 20% on their ice cream? No? That's when I had the idea to create the Cedarville app. The Cedarville app was an opportunity for the students to go out in the community, to learn about their community, and to then create something to inform people about what was going on. I'm going to show you a video now. It's about 3 minutes. And this is our official entry into the contest. We had to make a 3-minute video. And our official entry, what happened in order to get to this point is we entered an idea. That idea won us in the top 5 of the state. There were representatives from every state in the U.S. And then I, as a teacher, had to write a lesson plan about how we were going to execute that idea. My lesson plan won first in the state, and we won $20,000 for our school through that process. At this point, for this video, we were at the stage of we were trying to now be national winners, okay? So we were already state winners, and this is our submission for the national contest.
Cedarville. a small rural town with a population of 4,090 people, and only 38% are permanent residents.
The 3,600 Cedarville University students and their guests are vital to the community, and they don't always know how to do that.
Feedback from alumni.
Hi there, Paula Ferris from ABC News and Good Morning America. And as a graduate of Cedarville University, class of 1997, I know that the university students would really love to get more involved with the local town, but without a local newspaper, it makes it really difficult to get that information.
To get everyone connected, we decided to create a mobile community app.
We took a field trip to the university to learn about facilities open to the community and a walking field trip through town.
We also created an online survey and shared the link and QR code at local meetings. We asked what they would like in the Cedarville app. We spoke to local business owners too.
By doing this project, I learned a lot more about the community.
The graphics design team created icons in the header. We used Web 2.0 services on the class edits and meetings.
We shared our graphics to put in the app and saw the changes almost instantly because all our devices connected to one app. The research and development team met to discuss what should be in the app. Feedback showed professional looking graphics were important, but accurate information and functionality were more important. People wanted to know about events in town, so we got community calendar ICS links and added them to our app code. The app development team got behind the scenes and used HTML5 coding language to make the app work.
Doing the coding is getting me one step closer to my goal of being a video game designer.
After quality testing, we released the app to the community. They couldn't wait to download it. Community leaders weighed in on the app too.
That's what after seeing what you guys have done with this app, I think it really is an opportunity for you to live in the village and to come here to visit, to come to the university brand new, to go to one place to find out what's going on in the village, where they can go eat, where they can go shop. I think it's a great opportunity that you guys are finding in the city.
This new app helps Cedarville residents access vital information from so many different sources, including schools, law enforcement, village government, and the senior center. Touch your fingers.
The Cedarville mobile app will improve the community because it's going to get the university connected with the village.
Okay, so we ended up calling our app TechNected. It was a way to get everybody connected through tech, right? So we ended up calling the app TechNected, and all of these students had some hand in creating some part of the app, whether it was creating an icon, creating a header, doing the HTML code. They had doing some kind of research. They all had some kind of part in creating the app. So we turned in the submission, and out of the state winners, out of the submissions, we ranked in the top 15. The top 15 individual schools got to go to New York City and present their project for the chance to be in the top 5. And at this stage, we did not move on to the next round of the top 5. We made it to the top 15. There were lots of really cool projects, like people made adaptations to wheelchairs using 3D printers. People created like water filtering systems to conserve water at home. One of the things that no matter how much you practice, sometimes information technology just doesn't do what you want it to do. And sometimes the things you, as the end user, want it to do, it doesn't necessarily do that. So anyway, we used a program called AppMaker. It was very simple, like drag and drop tool. We were able to insert our own graphics. We were able to insert our own content. Anybody can create an AppMaker account for free. When you create an AppMaker account for free, you are able to make an app that is, upon publishing that app, you are able to put it in HTML5 and in like a Android native, but it's not available on Apple devices unless you pay a fee. So Android native and HTML5 versions are available for free. We shared our content as a class through a Google Drive account. So we were able to create a folder and all drag our photos and our video clips and our code all into a Google Drive account and be able to collaboratively work on this project. And so that was really cool because it wasn't on one person to do this whole thing by themselves, and it was a large project that we actually rolled out to the community. So what's interesting is this project actually opened the door for something else for us this year. Totally unexpected, something I didn't go looking for, but because we did this project, people said, oh, you know how to make videos. Oh, you know how to do this. How about you do this? So recently, there was a contest out for Snickers. Are you guys familiar with the Snickers commercials? Yeah, you're not yourself when you're hungry. So they called, Snickers nationally called for people to say, who are you when you're hungry? And so it just so happened that we thought that we could tackle that, that project as well. And so I'd like to share that experience with you as well. eata.snickers.com. Remember that. eata, E-A-T-A, .snickers.com. I have to be at least 13 to enter. Okay, so we entered the Snickers contest totally on a whim. I have a rotating class of students that come in. So they come in for 9 weeks and then they leave me and I don't see them again until the next year. Probably in high school you don't have that as much, but maybe in middle school you'd be in art class, maybe for a quarter or a semester, and then you'd go to music class. Is anybody familiar with that system, that rotation system? Okay, so my middle school classes come in, and they're only with me for one 9-week segment. And so one group of 8th graders got to be part of that app project. They left, we completed the app contest, and so this opportunity arose and somebody told me about it and said, hey, I've got this idea, but I have absolutely no technology skills. I don't know how to do a video. I don't know how to edit a video. Would you be willing to help me? And so I was like, well, okay, I can have my students do that because my first group got to make a video. We'll make the second group of students do a video. Never expected for it to go anywhere. Thousands and thousands and thousands of entries, not schools like our first project. It wasn't for schools. Anybody. You couldn't. If you were 18 or older, you could enter this contest. In this particular case, it was for 18 and older. So what we did is we went ahead and we entered the contest, and what do you think happened as I'm talking about it a whole lot? I'm sorry, what?
Did you make it for?
This is the top 10 out of thousands and thousands of entries. This is the top 10. You can currently vote on them. The winning vote will receive $50,000 in July. Not for myself. My name's not even up here. My colleague, fellow teacher, entered. Not myself, but we have written a statement where if we win, that $50,000 goes back to our school. $50,000 is huge for a school. $50,000 is even huger for a little teeny tiny school that doesn't have a lot of funding. So this is huge. So what happened is we turn it in, we get an email, and they're like, you're in the top 10, start getting people to vote for you. So I wanted to share that project with you today. We happen to be Nancy of Ohio. It won't let me make it. that at all? No?
You don't want to see the principal when he's hungry. Give him a Snickers.
Your detention's been repealed.
I don't know whether you can see any of that, but essentially what the storyline was, and we drafted up a story in class, we kind of collaborated on that, there was a lot of different ideas to get to this point. It started off, well, let's run through the halls and the principal can chase us and he can be a gorilla. And they started off, well, you're not yourself when you're hungry, you're angry when you're hungry. And so we changed it into you're not human when you're hungry. Does anybody else feel not human when they're hungry? No, just us adults. I don't feel very human when I'm hungry. Okay, so we went through this process, and maybe you'll have an opportunity to be able to watch this since it didn't really enlarge for you. Okay, says yeah, you will be able to watch it in another environment. So what happened is we drafted these ideas together, and when we drafted the ideas together, we came up with the concept. The students are scared. They're waiting in the principal's office. If you didn't pick up on that, he's not human because he's hungry. Kids walk in. All he sees is a banana because he's a gorilla. He throws back out banana peels, back out banana peels. The kids never come out of this office. But the one last kid walks in with a Snickers, gives it to the principal. Now he's human again. And was any of you able to see how that commercial ended? Your detention's been... Well, the detention's been repealed, so we had a nice little pun going on. Yeah. The kid at the end of the video slipped on the bananas. It was the creativity that this kid had that he thought, you know, this is what's going to make our video great. Okay, so is anybody familiar with these guys? Yeah? 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 Okay, so we're going to watch a quick little video.
Today we ask the age-old question. Let's talk about that. Good mythical morning.
A few weeks ago, we asked you mythical beasts to give us suggestions for what we can use to replace the crust, the Philly steak and cheese hot pockets. And now we're doing it on this very special episode of Really.
I was super encouraged by your participation. Mythical Beasts, thank you for submitting thousands of crust replacements today.
Many of you actually made hashtag Really Hot Pocket suggestions on a personal photo of mine of the North Carolina sunset on Instagram, so thanks for that.
You know you're into something when sunsets are eclipsed by the
You
question of
took
Really
this
Hot Pocket.
very seriously. Thank you for that.
Let's not delay this amazingness anymore. Today, thanks to your suggestions, and with the 100% Angus beef and real cheese from these Hot Pockets, we ask, Will is Hot Pockets? We had to get creative with these crusts, because you were very creative with your suggestions. So kudos to you.
And we want to acknowledge the fact that many of you suggested the same things. We just chose the first one we found. So thanks for all your suggestions, including the first one we're going to get started with. Jose Medina, who suggested French toast.
French toast.
Really Hot Pocket?
I got a good feeling about this. First of all, look at this.
Nice.
All right, so you got egg-drenched bread as a crust, and look, we've got here some. You gotta put some syrup on this.
Oh, you got it.
Steak and cheese inside
All
of
up in
French
the
toast.
inside. I can preemptively answer this question before I eat it.
But
Yes,
why?
Yes, it will.
Why would you want to do that when you can bite it first?
I want to spread my butter around. Shit, butter bucket, buddy.
Butter, buddy. Now, how hot is this?
Hey, buddy, hey, butter buddy.
You gotta kiss it to see how hot it is.
Hey, you get butter butter. Hey, buddy, hey, butter butter.
Steak and cheese peeking through.
Oh, man. Oh, brother.
Wow. I'll be your brother.
Did you get a butter bite, brother? Will it Hot Pocket?
Yes. We're off to a really good start. Okay, one is a bigger question mark for me. This one is suggested by Gotchi Tater Tots on Twitter, who says, why not cantaloupe? Cantaloupe. Hot Pocket. Cantaloupe's a carb. Whoa, this is huge. That's like the size of a regular cantaloupe, guys.
How are you gonna?
Well, there's two of us.
It's heavy, and there's one of it, and we're gonna go what?
This might have to sure.
Okay, let's just go until we get to the steak and cheese. You let me know when you make contact. Not with me, but with the steak. Ready?
I'm not making eye contact.
I got a lot of cantaloupe.
How do you get enough cantaloupe?
It's hard.
It's hard.
Afraid to go in. Just to take turns. You get the next piece?
I got a hole. Like a steak and cheese out of a puppy now. Just cut it in half, man. I'm impatient with this.
Don't put your fingers in it.
This one's dangerous.
It looks like a natural cantaloupe. It just happens to have steak and cheese and like seeds.
Yeah, this is natural.
This is a nice brunch item.
Okay, so here's the thing. That was fun. They took the steak and cheese out. They're putting it in random things. If you've ever watched these videos or anything similar. My kids introduced me to these videos. They're funny. But the first thing, not knowing anything about what was about to happen, is the first thing I noticed when the Will It Hot Pocket came up is that what they did isn't what I expected. Can anybody guess what I was thinking? No? When I say Will It Hot Pocket, what are you thinking?
Will it work?
Yes, sir.
IT.
Thinking IT? Well, that's a good, no? I mean, that's cool. That's not what I was thinking.
Is it a good idea or will it draw attention?
Oh, okay. Perfect. Is it a good idea or will it draw attention? But I'm going to tell you, I was just in for the entertainment. What I was thinking is, will it Hot Pocket? I was thinking, will it go in a Hot Pocket? Not will it go on the outside of a Hot Pocket. So they start doing this, and I'm thinking, I want to take all those little Hot Pockets that they scooped out and put different things in them. And my kids looked at me like, what? I was like, well, we could fill it with strawberries. Will it Hot Pocket? Now, my kids happen to be kind of creative, but they seem to be passers-by. They seem to be watchers. They're like, yeah, I'm not going to do that. But here was one of my challenges. I'm trying to encourage somebody to do. Maybe somebody did. I haven't really searched it hard. Make your own video. What's your spin on Will It Hot Pocket? Here was the thing about the Snickers commercial that I thought was most valuable for my students, is that Snickers wasn't asking for us to do a new concept for them. They wanted us to take their concept and make it new. Just like Tumblr made Blogger new. Just like Ms. Pac-Man made Pac-Man new. What's to stop you from making Granny Pac? I'm not saying steal other people's ideas. I'm not saying that, you do exactly what somebody else did. I'm saying take somebody else's idea, figure out how it works. That's how you, as young information technology students, are going to start to learn how things work, and then find something that you think you can change and change it. Because that's how you're going to grow. When you take time to do something, you do something, it happens. And it can happen with IT. So, whether you are creating videos, creating apps, creating video games, what I encourage you today is just create it. Thank you guys.